Hey guys, Fan Trucks out back here for the video, guys. Today we are reacting to, and I'm gonna obviously give the questions on the screen, enhance the audio of the reporters, Zac Taylor's press conference from today. Now, again, like I said, you will be able to read the reporters, what they say on the screen. It will cover up most of the screen for obvious reasons, so you can read it the best to your ability, and also enhance audio, because I know whenever you watch press conferences, most of the time, you can't even understand what the reporter's asking. So how is it important to listen to a press conference and not hear what the reporter's asking? Because he's answering a question, you don't know what player it's about, who it's about, what it's about. So all that kind of good. You guys already know if you watch the channel, but let's go ahead and watch it and listen up.
Your added excitement with today being the first Monday of a real game week this year?
Yeah, I think it's not that it wasn't real before, but now it's real. You know, you get into full game planning mode and get that bonus practice in there. So I think our guys are juiced up, had a good weekend, you know, relaxed, ready to come back to work. So I thought we had good energy today.
You made any decisions, Zac, yet on captains? That might be edited yet?
Yeah, I have. I don't know if I'm ready to announce that yet. I'm not sure if we have other things in store first, but yeah, we've got our captain set.
My captain's obviously offense is Joe Burrow. Let's be honest, that's not the question, right? It's Joe Shiesty on offense. My defensive captain, oh, that's so tricky. Okay, so it's obviously between 1 of 4 players, right? Hendrickson, Hubbard, Pratt, or Wilson. So those 4 guys. I'm probably going my defensive captain, Logan Wilson. I'm going Logan Wilson, my team captain. Just that. Also, he's going to probably talk about this today, but Willie Anderson was actually at practice today, which is awesome.
What goes into, how much input does the coaching staff give at all about captainship?
None. We let our players vote on it, and they do a good job of that over the years.
Wait, is that the same for every single team? That's interesting, because the Jets just made Aaron Rodgers and C.J. Mosley their team captains. I wonder if that's every team, or that's just strictly a Bengals thing, where just, the players vote. Because I thought usually, the coaching staff all gets together, they kind of talk. They might ask some of the players, but usually it's okay, listen, this is our guy, this guy we have most confidence in, we think he's going to do the best, we think, he can be a leader for this team. That's interesting.
You guys give them any guidance on what qualifications you might like when they're going through vote, on what guys you guys want to be? Ultimately, it's representation of the team.
It is. I mean, obviously there's new faces here, and those guys have to learn as they go. But overall, I think we got enough returning guys that understand what we're looking for, and I haven't disagreed, lately with any of the captains that we've had. So they've done a good job of that.
What's the biggest role during the course of the season that they play for you specifically in handling anything?
Yeah, they're a voice of the locker room. And that doesn't mean that guys that aren't captains can't have that voice as well. But they're the guys I'll turn to. We don't do it every week, but that I'll turn to, and we'll have discussions, things that are on my mind about practice or about the opponent we got, or things I want to get done in the locker room. So, extra voice, I guess you could say. That they do have a little bit of an obligation to speak up when something needs to be said. But again, there's so many other people in the locker room I can think of that aren't necessarily have the captain on their shirt that represent what that should be. And they do a great job of articulating thoughts they have to me and not shying away from that.
You have to be on the 53 to be a captain?
Yes. Everybody that's a captain this year is on the 53, but that doesn't mean that others didn't receive votes.
Will Greer is going to be team captain of his team. He's going to be on the sideline from the practice squad, not even a 3-man roster, as the team captain. Let's get it, boys.
Do you always have to have a special teams guy or not?
No, you kind of let the vote go as it will. I think sometimes it's usually pretty clear on where it needs to fall.
Top 6, top 8?
It just depends on how it all falls, yeah. And so, again, each year can be different that way. We don't set in stone what it's going to look like. You sort it out once the players have voted.
I'd like to have representation on both sides of the ball, though.
Yeah, you do. Yes, yeah.
Don't want to have all offensive captains.
Yeah.
So, Joseph Osai out of practice today on rehab field. Any update on his prognosis?
Just continue to take it day to day right now.
Not, so you officially say day to day, or not week to week?
I'd say day to day.
Is that probably encouraging, given kind of what that initially?
Yeah, I think everything has been encouraging.
The way guys are out there moving around today, do you feel like the way you handled it, two work days a day out, 2 work days a day out, whenever possible, you got benefit from it, that they came back pretty fresh today?
Yeah, I think our guys are in shape, which is a big key, physically and mentally. You know, it's the physical part's always, and not physically like running, but physically conditioned. You know, from a hitting standpoint and the physicality of the contact. That's something that's certainly evolved for me over the years, and I feel like our guys are in a really good place right now, ready to sustain drives. You know, we've done a lot of work on that stuff, so I feel like they're in a good shape coming off this weekend.
So you're talking football shape, not cardiovascular necessarily, but
Mm-hmm.
football shape. Push and pull, get the attachments, all ligaments, attachments, and all that going on.
Yeah, I can't put myself in those shoes as you described. That's coming from memory, I can tell. But you know, just there's also the excitement element that comes into effect once you step on the field against an opponent, and it's the real game. You factor that into as well, your conditioning level, and so that's something I think we'll certainly have to get through as the game starts. That always happens, and our guys will.
In a couple days before training camp started, I asked you about the idea of how daunting it is for a team who's played in a Super Bowl and an AFC championship to have to start over. You don't get to go right back there. You have to do it all over again. You said that kind of gives the team a bit of an edge. Did you see that throughout training camp? Do you feel that on this team, that they're ready to restart what is a marathon to get back to where you want to go?
I feel like they're in the place they need to be right now. Now we just have to go show it on Sunday. And so, again, I really like what our guys are about. I really like the effort and the attention to detail they put forth in these last couple of weeks. And so feel very confident that we're going to get in a good week of work and be ready to go on Sunday.
And again, as we have said many times on this channel, but also reporters and himself, Zac Taylor, Coach Taylor, is that this is most athletic, youngest, fastest roster we've ever had. So, again, getting back to the championship game, I think, should be pretty easy for us. I'll definitely say that.
You've said a few times, like, every team feels different. Have you learned any specific ways, kind of with the vibe, that maybe this team just naturally kind of feels different from previous?
It's similar energy to what we've had in years past. I do feel that. And there's some young guys that bring some energy to the table as well. That's encouraging to see. So, again, it's an exciting team. They're fun to be around. And it's good to come to work every day and see these guys.
What does Ted Karras bring to this team on and off the field?
Consistency, just, again, he's always on edge about the scheme, about the game plan, about communicating with everybody, always locked in. I think if you were looking for 2 words to describe Ted Karras, it's locked in, super focused. And so that's good to have from your center.
After losing week 1 last year to a divisional opponent, is there anything that you learned from the prep last year that goes into this year's game prep for week 1?
No, I think every opponent's different.
I think the one thing we got difference is... Actually, wait, no. Last year, Frank Harris, he got hurt in week 1, right? And then we had to bring in Cal. And we missed the extra point at the end of the game that lost us the game. Well, sent it to overtime, obviously. Would have won us the game, and then we lost in overtime. So I guess, technically speaking, it's very similar to last year in that aspect range.
Zac, what have you noticed about the way Dax and Nick have played together in the preseason training camp, and what gives you confidence that they're going to be able to fulfill their roles going forward at a good rate?
Yeah, I think every rep has helped those guys. Just over the course of camp, they got a ton of them. Both stayed on the field quite a bit, which was good to see. And so you got all the work you wanted those guys to get. Now you just get a chance to go do it in the game.
And the players in the locker room that I've talked to said that their bodies have never felt better going into the season. And they obviously give you a lot of credit for that. I mean, that's your goal, obviously.
It's something we focus on every day. As we continue to look at the practice plans, what we're going to get done. It's why we really don't ever set the practice too far in advance. It's usually by week in training camp that we set the schedule so that we're not thinking on July 25th, we're going to need this certain work on August 25th. You got to be able to respond to your team as it goes. And I think our coaches do a good job of giving me feedback. I think our players do a good job giving me feedback. And so we're able to get that done and feel like we're in a really good, healthy, well-conditioned place going into Sunday.
Brian, use the word like more active coaching to talk about Burrow. What have you seen from him, kind of that side of it, his personality and his presence at court?
I've always, I guess you feel it more this last week because he's been on the field more this last week, but it's something you always feel from him. I think that's what makes him great is he's not afraid to take the guys aside after a rep and give them even more coaching on exactly what he thinks, because ultimately that's what matters. I'm not the one out there on the field doing it. Callie's not. Troy Walters isn't. It's what the quarterback and the receivers, that chemistry that they have together. And so for him to take that ownership is critical. I think it's why we've had the success we've had with him at the helm, because he's not afraid to let those guys know how he wants it done.
That's exactly what you need from a franchise quarterback, a true leader. You can't have a guy who sits there and just absolutely stays quiet and refuses to talk, because you're going to lose every single time that happens, right? You need a guy who is not going to be a hothead, not going to be a guy that goes out there and screams his head off and goes crazy and loses his cool if something goes wrong. But at the same time, you want someone who actually cares, not someone who's going to be like, all right, whatever, I threw a pick, it's cool, I walked the sideline. And that's kind of how Lamar Jackson is for the most part. And you don't want that. You want a guy who isn't going to lose his cool, but he's going to go up to somebody, again, maybe the wide receiver, even the best receiver on your team. Might be someone like, for example, Jamar Chase or T. Higgins. And he's going to say, hey, listen, I know you're the best. I get it, you're the best. But guess what? You messed up on this route. You messed up on this play. And I didn't like how you ran this. I didn't like how you ran that. Taking control of it, saying, I get it, you're a great player, but this is how you got to get better. But explaining it, and again, it's all about body language and how you, say the message, how you get your message out there to the person, where it's not like you're attacking the person. It's more or less just like you're trying to help them. And again, it's really hard to do that, honestly. Once you get into like having better players, like for example, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, you got guys like that who are veteran star players on this team, right? They're one of the best players in the NFL. And because of that, it's hard to really get your message across because, again, they know what they're doing and they play at a very high level. But at being able to convey that message without, making them feel attacked and be able to listen and understand and really, do that, that's all parts of leadership. That's all part of being a leader. And if you're going to go win Super Bowls, especially many Super Bowls, you need to have that type of leadership quality. And that's why, again, obviously Joe's been more vocal recently. And a lot of it is because, usually he just kind of does this on the field. But because he can't be on the field, he now has to be more vocal off the field. So, again, like I said, just awesome, not awesome trade about Joe Burrow.
What makes a successful week of practice for him this week as he gets ready for Sunday?
Just keep getting reps in, and I thought today was a really good day for him. It was encouraging to see, and so we'll just take it one day at a time.
When you're looking at your quality reps or the good reps, what are you kind of evaluating as you're watching today, and then maybe last week? What in your mind is a really good rep from him as he's getting back from that injury?
Completing the ball. She's done a lot of.
Is Cheeto playing on Sunday?
Yes.
Travion Williams sounds really encouraged with where he's at. Same plan for him, like where he's at.
Yeah, we'll continue to go, but he's in a good place. He's healthy. He's ready to help us. Just continue to get him reps we can to get him up to speed. But I like where Travion's at.
But, are you going to declare Burrow? Is he going to play for sure on Sunday?
He's just going to take it day to day right now.
Given the declaration on Cheeto, what's it like to have him out there, and how important is he to what y'all want to do defensively?
He's arguably one of the smartest corners in the league. I haven't coached every corner, but he's just got those instincts, that awareness. Physically as talented as anyone, and so there's a lot that he brings to the table that people see and people don't see, and so it's good to get him back, just him back in the huddle, him back out there taking reps. He really makes those receivers work for everything that they get. I know that they would tell you that, and so he's a great weapon to have back there.
It's also about the fact that not only is it a great weapon on the to help go against those, it's also to train our veteran corners, right? To really vamp them up too, because again, he has so much veteran experience he's able to help out that it's not just again, yes, he's training our receivers, getting our receivers better, but it's also the veteran corners, right? So, I'm sorry, the veteran corners, the young corners. We have DJ Turner, who's young, brand new rookie. We got Cam Taylor-Britt, who's second year now, young guy still. You know, Mike Hilton, obviously more experienced, but even the safeties, Dax Hill, first year playing, first year as a starter playing. Nick Scott, a little bit more of a veteran, so that's not as much, but Jordan Battle, etc. So, yeah, having Cheeto back is absolutely amazing.
The safeties have had some time on task together back there through training camp. How do you feel about how they progressed?
Yeah, I feel good. You know, now we'll just get a chance to go see it happen. Nick's played a lot of football in this league for really good defense, won championships. Dax has been a part of what we're doing last year. So excited to see those guys work together. Okay, thank you.
All right. Absolutely freaking love it. I can't wait for the first week, guys. All right. So, first off, I will be live on Thursday, right? For the, obviously, for the first game of the season, right? Chiefs versus Lions. We'll be live. And I will also be live for Sunday for the Browns versus Bengals game. But overall-wise, my takeaway from this, you know, press conference is it's looking good, okay? It's looking good. Everything that could be possibly negative or going downhill is absolutely turning uphill. Cheeto could be negative. Whoop, nope, going uphill. Same thing with my man's Joe Burrow. Could be negative, going uphill. We have Travion Williams. Could be negative, going uphill. Joseph Asai is the only negative thing right now. Everything else is trending upward. So, friggin' love to see it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys next one. Peace.